Yay.
Kazakhstan, greatest country in the world. Only other countries are run by little girls. Greatest country of potassium. All other countries have inferior potassium.
So can I see everyone's crumb? It's my favourite Borat word, crumb, for penis.
Hello and welcome to Critical Idiots. Today we have our special guest, Jeff Bridges.
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Do you think this movie needed to be told? This story needed to be told?
No.
Not particularly.
Not necessary, but it was fun.
No, not really. Yeah, I had fun with it.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that it exists, but yeah, it's going to be a soon to be outdated movie. It's
very topical, very like you know, it's like even like 4 months or something. The election would have passed, coronavirus might have died down. It might not even be that relevant.
Yeah.
Whereas the first one totally holds up.
Yeah, it holds up. Like, definitely, I was trying to make an argument before that it definitely, the old one was political and it was still like a post 9/11 world and it was playing off that, but it didn't matter that much. No, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, like you were saying, but it's still timeless. It's not like it may have used some of that, it like adds to the setting.
I don't think it was anywhere near as overtly political.
No.
It was a lot more culturally political.
Yeah.
I think that's not really what I had the issue with. It just wasn't particularly funny. There was just so many. Sacha Baron Cohen's so good at pushing boundaries and making people really just fly out of their comfort zone, and then allowing them to then just like come out of their shell.
That could be.
And it wasn't that. I didn't really experience that in this movie. And that's what faltered for me.
I would disagree with that. I feel like it's got a lot of the same notes as the original Borat. You know, like coming out of their shell and kind of flipping the script on them. But in this one, it's toned down definitely. But I think the element is still the same.
And we get glimpses of it. Like there's a scene with the mobile phone.
Yeah, with Brian at the shop.
Yeah, it's like moments like that where he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom," and then he's like, it's broadcasting the porn to like inside the store. There was like that's so funny and so outrageous, and I wanted more of those scenes. They were in there.
Few and far between.
Few and far between. Whereas the original Borat or even Bruno or any one of his great works like that, they're almost every scene. Any of these
But I don't feel like it diminished the quality of this movie. I think it was still very, very funny.
Sacha Baron Cohen can't really exactly do Borat again because everyone knows who Borat is. You were saying that they addressed that, and they addressed that within the first 10 minutes, which is great. And what he does is Borat's character has teamed up with his daughter, and the movie's about them going around America now, and for a very basic explanation of the plot.
And he's trying to sell his daughter to Mike Pence.
He's trying to sell his daughter to Mike Pence, and
he's been cancelled in Kazakhstan.
Yeah, and he has to take a bit of a step back and allow her to be at the forefront of some of these skits because otherwise people will realize it's Sacha Baron Cohen. And I thought she was a really great actor, but I didn't think, and I don't think many people do, she had the same comedic chops and that boundary pushing ability that he's able to evoke.
I was going as far as to say that he's probably one of the contemporary greats of comedy. Sacha Baron Cohen. I think he's easily one of the funniest people I know.
Yeah. Also just with just great improv skills.
Yeah.
Like something will come up, like the guy just being like, "Oh, I'm retired," and he's like, "Oh, you're retard, physical or mental?"
Yeah, this satire
on the
up
spot.
There with the South Park, some of the best seasons of South Park.
Yeah.
And
so quick.
Yeah, I was just gonna say so clear out.
Yeah.
And so as I was saying, if you put anyone next to him that is nowhere near that level, it's just going to show, and it did.
Yeah.
Well, he's also been doing it for years, and she would have only been training for this for maybe a year beforehand. So she wouldn't have been as ready as him.
Do we know her background at all?
She's, I think, Bolivian.
Well, I mean,
she's only
she's
only just starting out, I think, because
she's
only
been
got a
acting
few credits.
Right, okay.
Acting for about 5 years, and she was picked out of a group of people there.
Right, okay.
I mean, it's impressive. She did a great job.
I think she did a great job too.
Yeah.
I thought the bits where they were traveling around when she was in the cage were quite fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, I loved all the scenes where, like, they go to... She accidentally eats a, like, toy baby. And so they go to a doctor from a Planned Parenthood place.
No, it's not Planned
Oh, no, it's the
No,
opposite.
it was just a women's clinic.
No.
Yeah, but it's more of a Christian one.
Yeah.
So they're not... They
offer alternatives to abortion.
Yeah, and then he's trying to say, we need to get this baby out of my daughter. I put this baby in my daughter.
Yeah.
And those moments, and he's trying to be a medical professional in this situation.
Yeah.
I really love those scenes, but
Yeah, it's the perfect like level of cringe comedy.
but then there was some other moments that I won't get too specific into them, ruin every joke, but I thought they could have really pushed some of the boundaries a bit further, like when she's talking about masturbating in front of the Women's Republican
Oh, that was
community.
lame. I think that was really lame.
Yeah.
But then, that being said, I think the film peaked in a scene involving her, which is the fertility dance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That, I think, was my highlight of the film. That's the
that's
cheeks
pretty
hurt.
Yeah.
I kept going back to the story I didn't care about, the characters I didn't like. They weren't dramatically fulfilling.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make me laugh. I wanted them to just do something funny.
Come on, Cloudy.
Yeah, do something funny.
Yeah, all right.
I didn't really care about their
Yeah.
emotional moments or anything.
That's the weird
didn't
thing.
resonate
Like, the
with me.
original Borat barely had a story, but I was invested in that story.
Yeah.
There's some real low moments in that film,
Yeah.
and also high.
It's
It's
just
just
him
quite
learning
a...
about America
And wanting to get with Pamela Anderson, it just
Yeah.
ties the
But that
thing together,
develops
and
really slowly.
how it creates tension in their friendship.
But
it's
also,
just
he's,
like done
he
so
spends
well.
all the money when
Yeah.
he breaks everything, and so
Yeah.
they get to some low
Yeah.
points, and they...
Yeah, it's just classic 3-act structure. It's amazing they pulled it off, incorporating so many real people into it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with this one.
Yeah, the story feels a bit messier.
Yeah.
There's-
Also, yeah, there's too many elements in it. Like
Yeah.
we have the subplots of his daughter,
Yeah.
blossoming into a woman. We have the other subplot of selling her to Mike Pence.
Well, that's
and-
the A plot, really.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just talking.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
plots really. And then we have the other plot of him
Yeah.
kind of accepting his daughter's.
I think that was meant to be the main one overall, is like him
and-
learning to love his daughter.
And-
It's
and-
probably like the main thing. But
and
yeah, I
then-
get what you mean.
Then
It
the
seems
subplot
like,
of him calling out America and the Republican states.
Yeah.
There's just a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's too many cooks.
yeah, too many spinning plates.
I thought it was a bit linear in that sense. Like, yeah, it just didn't feel like it was focusing on the
Yeah.
fun sketches or trying to get interactions between people.
It almost
Yeah.
felt like, okay, well, we can't close the movie with that Mike Pence bit.
Mm.
That wasn't that funny. Okay, Rudy Giuliani. He's our next guy.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and get him to do something
Lame was
crazy.
that scene though.
I
It was
was
so
telling
built
me
up.
when you guys watched it together, you were like, keep going,
Yeah.
don't stop it. And that's
Yeah.
exactly how I felt. I was
Yeah.
like, oh fuck, they're gonna get him to pull his dick out and shit, and it's gonna be blurred. And then Sacha Baron Cohen runs out and stops it immediately. And I was saying that maybe there's a possibility that they could tell he wasn't gonna go for that.
Yeah.
So they interrupted it at the moment that would make him look
Yeah,
worse.
like he's
Yeah.
going for his mic or whatever.
Yeah. And so they made it look like he was gonna get his dick sucked or something.
I mean, like, there's also the idea that he's probably her guardian for this film, so he probably wanted to keep her safe, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's 24, but
Yeah.
still, he's there to look after her. He's probably signed things to
Well, yeah.
be a
To
protective.
do things as an actor that involve really
There'd
obscene.
be a safe word though. It'd be like whenever there's a
Yeah.
moment where it like...
Of course, I'm just saying
Yeah,
it's going quite far, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a possibility.
And
I agree. I was
for
there.
her, for her first role as well, or her breakout role, I guess, because this will be a breakout role for her to do stuff like this. It's a bit extreme.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel
That's
like
what
you
the
sign
movie
up,
is.
Yeah, you
That's
sign
what
up with
Borat
Sacha Baron
is.
Cohen, you're gonna get extreme. It's like you
I
think
didn't-
like
but
you
how
never
can
think
you-
that with like Lutz, even if he was younger and Bruno, you would never think that.
Do
I feel
you-
like just because she's a girl doesn't mean she needs to be
I
protected.
don't think
No,
that's
exactly.
that's definitely not the argument I'm making.
Yeah.
You don't know. Sacha Baron Cohen was the one that chose to do it because
Yeah.
it's the production that he's in charge of.
It's also interesting to think about that this movie started production before COVID, and
and then
then
during COVID, it just
yeah,
that,
so that's
that element came in.
and so you've got to retwerk almost the entire narrative and concept.
Retweak.
I almost would have been. I almost would have been okay if he scrapped the whole thing and it was
Sorry.
just about Borat bunking with 2 Republicans over a summer
Yeah.
during COVID.
That would be
That was great.
That would have been a great movie.
I enjoyed that he didn't exactly demonize the people he was with. He didn't really make them out to be bad people. It almost
Yeah.
seemed like they were kind of sheep in a sense that they attached themselves to certain political ideas or whatnot because they were just following a group. But it didn't make them out to be bad people.
I was constantly waiting for some massive, over the top set piece or something like.
This justifies a cinematic release.
Yeah, like
Or at least an Amazon Prime streaming release.
when Borat and his manager in the first movie get into a fight and they're naked and they're jumping on each other and they run to the elevators and they're standing around people just in the hotel who can't understand why these two.
Random people.
Yeah.
He's chasing him with like the fist.
Yeah, with a fist dildo. And there wasn't a...
So it's still funny.
And there was some moments that came sort of close in this movie,
Yeah.
but never went that far.
Well, that's what I saw in the trailer. That shot of him coming in as Trump, holding his daughter over his shoulder and being like, Mike Pence, and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's gonna be the giant set piece or something.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. And the Rudy Giuliani stuff didn't really.
Yeah, it didn't really
hit
up
like
the
that.
ante as much.
No. It was like they couldn't get what they wanted and they just had to release it.
Yeah, it felt very much like that.
Yeah, and they were like, well, the election's coming up. It's the whole point of doing Borat 2, which is a fucking shame. And that's just it. And that's why.
It would just be better if the intention was just to make a great film.
Well,
like something that's just really funny and rewatchable like the originals
They
are.
didn't have this like, oh, we got to do it for this reason, for this cause.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he's going back to hidden cameras, and I thought Who Is America was good, so I'm disappointed in this, but I mean, it's still better than those
The dictator.
comedies he was making.
Yeah. No, his unscripted is always better than any of his scripted, even like Ali G.
The Ali G in the house or whatever.
I like that movie, but it's not a good movie.
No.
It's not
It's not as
comparable.
good as a TV show, which is just
Yeah.
gold.
Oh, the Ali G show is great.
Do you mind if I get into the spoiler?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
it's a
and-
spoiler talk.
And then we just get into that insane
Oh, wait.
plot.
So this is a spoiler section.
Oh yeah.
If you want to just skip to our final thoughts at the end, the time code is here. It's
right
here. Here.
It's actually... Yeah, no, it's there.
So and then all of this COVID stuff is just a giant big reveal that he must have had like a last second idea that he brought
I
COVID
got that
to the
sense.
United States.
Yeah.
Which quite
was
frankly
fun.
I think is genius.
Yeah, that was
could
great.
imagine them talking about this idea around like the catering table and be like, Borat, if he had COVID, that would be the worst. He's been all around America in this movie. Like, oh, we should make him patient zero, and he's responsible for COVID.
Yeah. And that's why they had that joke at the start too, where the boat keeps
Yeah,
going all these
yeah.
different
Yeah.
countries and stuff.
I was like, this is a weird joke. It's not that funny.
Yeah.
I've seen this
It's a
before
good setup.
in
Yeah,
like
it's-
a 90s cartoon or
It's a
something.
bit, a bit of foreshadowing.
I
that
did
was-
enjoy the dramatic wah wah wee wah.
Wow,
Wee wah. But it didn't quite work for me, that ending.
Really?
Well, I just felt thrown together.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like it
I
was
wasn't
thrown
like,
together in the
yes!
Oh, you didn't love that? That made the linear
It was
storytelling almost feel like
better.
good. Yeah, for me, it was
was
like
just-
that was worth it.
Yeah,
Like, that was
I
so
feel,
funny.
I feel like that was an amazing twist that that could have come together in the fly, and
I didn't love it as much as you, but I definitely enjoyed it as a little extra.
It was.
My reaction was this. And it could have been a lot more.
There's like a pause after that where you're like looking
imagine-
into space and darkness.
So it's all alone in a big house.
I
And
feel
it's
like
like,
for someone of Borat's, typical state of comedy, like what he does, I feel like that was a good get around.
It works well in
It works.
really
I
tied
don't
the
know if it
room
works
together.
well.
Hmm.
It works.
I just wasn't really into the film before that so much, so that was like, oh, okay, good.
That saved
That's
you.
funny, yeah. I don't. Well, I'm not
Drop
like
the mic.
I've seen Borat, but I'm not a huge Sacha Baron Cohen fan.
Yeah.
Like I don't go to seek his films, but I enjoy when I see him
Yeah.
in something. And also, I don't know much about American politics.
Yeah.
So for me, this film was good when they, were acting off of people that didn't understand it was going to be a film.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I wasn't really there for it.
Yeah.
But for him to, pull back the curtain a little bit and just say, like, these are real people, and, they do have feelings and emotions, and they care about one another. I think it was a good sentiment to have.
I think so. When people are always pitting different sides against each other to show that, they can connect.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how I'm looking at it.
Well,
so
yeah,
I
These
agree.
two random guys in the middle of a pandemic allow a stranger to stay with them in their
Just
home.
dance around naked.
So
Not only that,
that's
just
why-
chilling.
an immigrant as well.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, I just liked how it would it felt a little bit subversive, like the bits where it's like, oh, he's gonna start to care now, and it just be him shutting the cage. Or something. Like, I thought that was funny. Maybe a bit obvious, but it got me.
yeah, no, the daddy-daughter reconnection storyline was quite funny, and just like how I felt that was very classic Borat, with a lot of like jokes about just him being a chauvinistic and sexist and stuff. A lot of the ideas, just to see it.
Just on that though, although I thought it was funny at first, I thought it was kind of typical and obvious the way it went. I saw it going that way from the start. It was great at the start with like the cage and the jokes, but then it was like, okay, obviously.
It tried to be... yeah, exactly. It felt like an actual story when it was with the cage.
Yeah.
And then when she's like going off, and then he gives her the book and then she's back, but there was no scene of them reconnecting.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit just to touch on, when they're having the argument outside the plastic surgery clinic.
Yeah.
And this is just a guy
Oh,
sitting in
yeah.
a toilet Corolla, just looking at
The car stopped at the road.
Yeah, the car's just sitting there waiting for them to finish this argument. I'm not sure what's
I need
happening.
someone to be like an Uber driver.
I thought it was like someone, we need more lights on the street, so they get a guy there with the light on for the big, like, conflict. I honestly think it was that.
It was just so random and out of place. It was just, what the
But it
hell?
works. It
Yeah.
was great.
It just added, for me, it added to the comedy, like, highly unusual. Just,
I agree.
okay, the guy's just sitting there and they're just like, I'm here now.
That guy stole the conflict. He stole
He
it.
stole the show.
It's
How
great.
good was that black woman?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was so sick.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's a lovely person.
And she had that heart.
Yeah. And she, like, everyone else looks such an idiot. She looks so good.
Yeah.
What do you have to do to look good in a Sacha Baron Cohen movie?
Be that lady for
Alright, I'll get you your bowling train now.
Alright, let's get into this one.
Okay.
Yeah, alright. So, I haven't watched too many Sacha Baron Cohen films. When we watched Borat's second film, it was actually the first time I watched Bruno beforehand. I really enjoyed that. But I enjoyed Maria Balakova's performance, and Sacha Baron Cohen was good, but I didn't really like the content, and I felt like it's a bit of a time capsule for 2020. There's no real rewatchability for me, and I think that the linear story didn't really capture me as much as Borat and Bruno, because I thought they were outrageous and very funny, and I love the sketches and the interactions. So this film, in comparison to his other works, just didn't really capture me. Didn't enjoy the story. I'll give it a 6 though, because, it's still enjoyable and the acting was good.
Originally watching this movie, on first impressions, I thought it was really, really amazing. But, going back and having a bit of time to breathe on it, I did, find that there are definitely some problems. There is way too much convoluted story. It doesn't know whether it's trying to be like a feminist movie or a humanitarian movie or just a simple Borat movie. So there's a bit of a mixed bag there. However, the comedy is out of this world. I feel like I enjoyed this a lot more than the first one. Then again, I haven't seen the first one in a long, long time. But I did find it much, much funnier than what he's done before. And the other problem is that there is this time capsule element of this. It will stay in this period, and it won't have any rewatchability. So, with all that being said, I'm not going to bump it down too much because I genuinely did enjoy this movie. I'm going to give it a 7.
Yeah, so this film, as I said before, I think Sacha Baron Cohen is one of the greats at the moment. I think maybe one of the funniest actor comedians working today that are just as good, in interviews as they are, or on stage as themselves as they are, doing their characters.
A comedian that doesn't do much stand up.
Yeah,
that's really great.
So I'm a huge fan of him, but I think there's a few scenes in this that really got me, and I would return to for a chuckle. But I would probably just skim through my version of it. I wouldn't ever watch it again. I think for that, it mainly landed flat for me. I didn't care about anything else apart from the few scenes, as I mentioned, that make me giggle. But those few scenes I thought were great. If you took all the best parts from this movie and put them together, I feel like it would equal about a normal episode of Who is America. So I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah, like you were saying, I think that Borat and Bruno had just great 3-act structures, and like the storylines, even though they were ridiculous, I was invested in those ridiculous storylines. I was like, how's he gonna be famous? Or I was like, how's he gonna get Pamela Anderson to be his wife? It's like, I'm into it. It's so absurd, and the music choices were all cute, and it was really cinematic, and they'd got great set pieces. So like every scene, every bit was in the right moment for the story, and I was like, that would have been so hard to orchestrate, and it felt like there was none of that in Borat 2, and it ended up feeling kind of rushed. And maybe if they were able to spend some more time, I think there's some potential there for a better Borat sequel. There were bits I really liked about it, and I think you hit it with all the other points. So yeah, I think I'd go for a 5.5 to a 6. I'll go 6 for now, but I'll see how I sit with it.
I was not a huge fan of this movie. I had a bit of fun watching it, a few laughs here and there, some pretty hard ones, but it really, is pale in comparison to basically any of his other work of that.
Of any of the hidden camera stuff.
Yeah, of any of his hidden camera works. And I didn't think that it being a time capsule 2020 was as much of an issue for me. I don't think that will necessarily date the film too heavily. Well, I don't think it'll be less funny in 10 years because of any of that. I think it'll still be very understandable, what the situation was. It's just that I never found that it was trying to push the buttons particularly far. There were, as I said, kept waiting for like this big set piece or a big sort of memorable moment that I would not be able to believe what I was watching or seeing, or the way that these people were reacting. And no, I don't think that really existed in the film, and I overall just thought it was pleasant, it was funny. I'd give it a 5.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Follow our Letterboxd, our Instagram, our Twitter, our Facebook.
So we've been moving houses, a lot of us, and we've lost our set that you've all grown to know and like I wouldn't say love.
It's a very intimate setting. I want to be on this.
So we're in the process of figuring out a new set. We have a Boys in the Band review coming, as well as a
I'm thinking of ending things, hopefully.
Yeah.
Very, very late.
So those are coming soon.
Get excited.
And American Pickle at some point.
Pickle. But we're sorry about the dip in posting. What's the word?
Schedule.
In upload schedule.
Yeah, so take care, guys. Have a great one.
Then you're going to get in this one.
So, take care, guys. Have a great one.
Make sure to vote next week.
I ended with voting.